1, a 2, a 1.
It's time for the Better Horses radio show. So let's saddle up and ride as we explore the Western way of life, horses and cows, family and friends, a relationship with the land, and a relationship with God. It's all here on Better Horses Radio. Now let's hit the trails with the Better Horses team.
Welcome to Better Horses Radio. So glad you joined us. I'm Ed Adams.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
And together we get to host one of the best shows that are out there, all about better horses, and everything is about learning, Merle.
Yes, it is. And Ed, we've got a great show for our listeners today.
You know, coming up, one of the most professional horsewomen, Lindy Birch, is going to be a National Cutting Horse Association Open for Charity Championship. She's got a lot of points. And Merle, she's over a $4.2 million earner.
If there is a Hall of Fame, she is in it. I'm telling you, she's in about 3 or 4 Hall of Fames already.
You know, it is amazing how many Hall of Fame she's in.
Yeah.
We're just so lucky to have her on our show.
She's an elite cowgirl.
It is. And you know, one of the things that we always talk about, because the show is always about learning, to get to talk about something that's pretty exciting, hoof grip, livestock flooring, and why it's so important.
Yeah, I'm very interested to talk to him about this segment. I'm curious about the applications and how we can use it. And like you say, you don't think about putting your horse in the trailer until there's an accident or something happens. So it's good to be a little preventative instead of waiting for it to happen.
Colton McDonald is the owner and founder of Hoof Grip Livestock. And what was his saying? He said the last thing we think about is putting our trailer that we put our horses in every day.
Yeah. I mean, we don't typically check it until there's a problem. And so that might be a problem.
That definitely is a problem. Yeah. And we get to also talk about our favorite topic. We're going to have Darrell, Bilke, and Jenna Henson is going to be coming on board, and they're going to give us an update on what's going on with the Pinto Horse Association and, more importantly, the 2024 Pinto World Championship show.
I can't wait to talk to Darrell. He's always got new stuff up his sleeve, and I'm sure he's got a surprise or two for us today.
Well, as a matter of fact, all this is coming your way. But before we get going, one of the things we get to do, we have Mark Oppold in our studio. I'm going to throw it to him because he promises every week to get us an update on our better cattle. Let's get his thoughts.
Well, thanks, Ed. Great to be part of the program here each week and connect with your audience here as well, sharing some thoughts here on this cattle industry overall. You know, coming up this Monday, Memorial Day, I wanted to take a couple of minutes here. Of course, we know it's meant to honor men and women who died serving in the U.S. military, but originally known as Decoration Day. Perhaps, you know, parents or grandparents especially might still refer to it as Decoration Day. One thing I didn't realize, that it originated in the early years following the Civil War, and it didn't become an official federal holiday until 1971. I would think it would have been many years prior to that. Of course, we observe the holiday by visiting cemeteries, memorials, holding family gatherings, certainly, participating in parades, and it's the unofficial beginning of summer. Most schools are out. Congratulations to all of our graduates. By now, most of the graduation ceremonies have taken place, some this weekend coming up here as well. I do want to take, Ed, my time here today, not only to talk about better cattle, but using Memorial Day coming up to remember a great friend of mine, someone that I worked with for parts of 34 years, Patrick Gotch. Patrick passed away about a week ago. He was the founder and president of Rural Media Group that included RFD-TV, Rural Radio, Sirius XM, the Cowboy Channel, and more recently the Cowgirl Channel. Patrick and I go back to 1990, when we started our relationship together. I was working as a farm director at a place called the Helming Group in Kansas City. Bill Helming, people might remember that name. Patrick came to Bill when he started RFD-TV, and he said, I need some market information, market reports, market commentary. And Bill Helming, the Helming Group, was a consulting group that had a lot of data. And he said, well, I've got this farm broadcaster here, Mark Oppold. We can do some reports for you. So around 1990, I recorded 3 reports a day. We uplinked them to Omaha, and that was part of the early launch of RFD-TV. I eventually joined Patrick in Nashville and helped launch the Market Day Report, which you're familiar with. Later, Rural Radio Sirius XM was on the air, the first program we put on the air, introducing Patrick and all those who were helping to organize it as well, being part of that initial broadcast as well. He allowed me to seek office with the National Association of Farm Broadcasting. I became the national president in 2013, and he was supportive all the way through. You know, things I remember about him in the time that I had with you today, he said when he started RFD-TV, he said, Mark, I want RFD-TV to be television the way it used to be. And you know, you think about that, people who are longtime viewers of RFD-TV, that's the reason that you see reruns of Hee Haw, reruns of the Ralph Emery Show and all the stars through the years in the 60s and 70s especially, reruns of Roy Rogers. You know, in fact, when he found out that the Roy Rogers Museum in California was closing, he wasn't even there at the time of the auction, but he made a quick connection with someone who was and bid, and now, of course, the story, he purchased Trigger that day and Buttermilk early on, or I mean later on, Buttermilk and Bullet. And they were on display, still on display around the country, but moreover in the Fort Worth stockyards here right now. Just, again, the kind of person that he was. And the other thing I want to mention today, he gave a platform to so many, of course, agricultural groups, NCBA and their Cattleman to Cattleman program, FFA, and we have 30-plus hours of live broadcast during their convention each October. Farm bureaus around the country and the Farm Bureau itself, the American Farm Bureau Federation. And, of course, you know, horses. How many times did people come up and said, you know, I've got a good training program. And so here you are, Ed, continuing and having a platform for all the people who want to make better horses and enjoy horsemanship. And, again, all that goes with it. Again, part of Patrick's vision as well. Even performers. I remember going down the hallway, and there were some programs being recorded. Bill Anderson hosting. People like Bill Anderson, Larry Gatlin, others would say, you know, without Patrick Gotch and without RFD-TV, we would be forgotten people. They wouldn't hear our music anymore. But he gave us a platform to continue to share our music with others. And I'm going to end with a great memory and honor for me. He was instrumental in getting rural America to learn, and the candidates in the 2016 election to talk about rural politics, rural issues. And when President Trump was elected, he made sure that rural America was represented, and long story short, went to the inaugural committee and got 13 tractors to parade, be part of the parade, and he came to me and said, Mark, you've been with me longer than anyone. I want you to drive a tractor on the memorial or on Inauguration Day. So I have pictures of me driving a tractor down Pennsylvania Avenue, waving to the new president. A real highlight for me. So with that, this Memorial Day really comes alive for me, but we don't want to forget those men and women who served in our military as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you. We'll talk more about better cattle here next week, Ed.
And Merle, one of the things we do have to talk about is we've lost somebody very special this weekend. And RFD, yes, the Cowboy Channel, and everyone, we want to send the family all our condolences on behalf of Better Horses. Patrick Gosh passed away this weekend, and it's going to be a very devastating atmosphere for us in the rural area, and the things that he has done in our industry has been phenomenal.
And for those of you that don't know who Patrick Gosh is, he is the founder of RFD TV and rural radio, a big instrumental part of the American and starting that tradition. So a very influential guy, and a guy that was very intent on bringing rural lifestyle to mainstream media.
And we'll get more of our thoughts on Patrick throughout the show. But first, let's take a break. We'll be right back right after these messages. I'm Ed Adams.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
So stay with us.
Get quality you can stand on. Hoof Grip is the proprietary formula that provides shock absorption for your animals with no ice buildup, slipping, cracking, or sogginess, making it the safest, most comfortable, and maintenance-free flooring on the market. Hoof Grip installs quickly and easily over existing surfaces, is easy to clean, and withstands extreme heat or cold. From vet offices to barns, wash racks to trailers and more. Visit hoofgrip.com to find a dealer in your area today.
2024 is the year to compete in the world's largest horse show, the Pinto World Championship. This 13-day event begins June 8th, starting with our youth weekend through June 22nd, and caters to all riding levels and ages. With over $1 million in cash and prizes, there are no qualifications required to enter. Held in Tulsa, Oklahoma, located at the Ford Complex, the Pinto World Championship caters to all types of equines. With over 700 classes, the Pinto Show welcomes a variety of breeds to compete. It's a family environment with healthy competition. For more information, check out the website pintoworld.com.
We're here for the hardworking, the resilient. We're for the people who measure their days by what needs to get done, not by hours. Where kids learn responsibility at a young age and generations work side by side. Where work doesn't pause for holidays or bad weather. It just gets harder. Where value and hard work means more than the clothes you wear. We're Kleinschmidt's Western Store, Higginsville, Missouri.
Routine dental examination and treatments are essential for high-quality horse care. To prevent potential problems, a horse's mouth should be examined at least once a year. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins, Equine Field Service Veterinarian at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. We can examine the mouth and provide a treatment plan to meet the needs of each client and their horse. Visit us at ksvhc.org, the Veterinary Health Center, to discover, to teach, to heal.
And welcome back to Better Horses Radio. You know, one of the funnest things we get to do is talk to great trainers around the country, and undoubtedly we've got a good one. And this one's segment is brought to you by the Pinto Horse Association of America. If you haven't heard about it, where have you been? Actually, the Pinto World Championship is going to be on June 8th through the 22nd. Merle, are you getting legged up? Is your horses ready to go?
Well, I don't know if I'm getting legged up, but the horses are anyway.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, these shows are a lot of fun. We recommend everybody go out there. And more importantly, we have somebody on board, a professional horse trainer, National Cutting Horse Association champion, Lindy Birch is coming to us. And she's been in the business for a very long time. And I'm going to try to tell everybody we are very honored to have her. She's ranked among the cutting's all-time leading money earners, well over $4.2 million earned to date. Lindy has not missed an NCHA futurity since she's first performed it back in 1978, which is amazing. And she gets the #1 stars for attendance. Everybody from Better Horses, welcome Lindy Birch. Lindy, welcome to our show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm happy to be here.
Now, you have been in the National Cutting Association for a long time. You were just at a show. You've been blazing this trail since 1980. Tell me how the industry has changed, and tell me how the National Cutting Horse Association has changed.
Well, I hate to disagree with your fact check, but I've actually been cutting since 1966.
Oh, my.
And yeah, really, in California. So I started out quite young. I mean, I was 14, 15 years old, but knew at that point that I wanted to ride cutting horses for the rest of my life. So I've stayed with that thought the whole time. But 1980 was the year I actually won the NCHA Open Futurity. But I was cutting long time, couple decades before that.
And you were one of the first females actually to win these national championships. So there wasn't a lot of time where there was a lot of females running into the National Cutting Association.
No, I was the first, for sure, woman to win the futurity. I won it in 1980, and my buddy Kathy Dawn won it in 85. And then we had quite a drought until another gal, actually a gal that was named after me, named Lindy Thorne, won it on Feeling Dangerous just a few years ago. So a sum total of 3 women have won the NCHA Open Futurity, and it started in, 63, I think, in Sweetwater. So it's it's quite great. It's a small club, but a great club to be in.
It's a great club. And you were inducted into the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame, and you received a lot of honors. You were also in the Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame and the NCHA Riders Hall of Fame. I mean, this just keeps going on and on. I mean, this is amazing that you've been going for this long and you've had such a successful career, and you haven't stopped. I think the last time we tried to get together, you were at another show, correct?
Correct. I stay on the road. I've stayed on the road the last several years. I've the way my business works, I believe in mare power, and so I've always had and built up a really great set of brood mares, and then I've trained and showed those mares, so they all have careers and really good money won on them. So then I figure out the best cross, breed them, and when those foals are riding age, I either sell some of them in the Western Livestock yearling sale, or I pick several to keep and train, and then sell them along the 2 years I'm riding them, 2-year-old, 3-year-old year, or decide to keep them and show them. And so for the last several years, I've showed a couple of, I think 3 major horses that I've made the top 5. They call it the top 10, but I've been in the top 5 open horses for the year, riders of the year. And what that entails is that you show at every championship NCHA cutting you can get to, and they add up all the money you've won at the end of the year and crown the world champion. So I've done that several times, been in the world finals. And this year I sold my horse last year, my open horse, and I've been concentrating on 2 really nice futurity mares I have. So I decided I'd stay home a little more, but I do have a good 4-year-old, so I've showed her in the major events so far this year, and but I'm not on the road as much as I have been heretofore, kind of.
Well, Lindy, that's interesting. Your journey is not unlike a lot of people listening probably is. But I'm curious, did you get the show mare first and then breed her, and that's how you started your brood mares, or did you went out and got a brood mare and foal, and then you raised the foal, and that's how you got hooked? How'd you get started?
Well, I'm going to give you the short version because you probably don't want me on here for the long version. But the short version is I started out on a gelding, a Mr. Nifty 121, a neighbor owned, in Chino, California, Southern California, where I was raised. And I started riding him and working him and just sitting on the fence watching other trainers ride. I was always in school and wanted to be a veterinarian, so I never actually got to go to work for a trainer. And that wasn't really in vogue back then anyway. Because I was busy with school and then high school and then college. But I rode every chance I could get. And I started beating these people on this gelding, and he was a great old horse. He was actually a former rope horse that somebody said was a cutting horse, but he really wasn't. But he got there by the time I was finished with him. But he was a great horse to start with. And then luckily I met some people that liked the way I rode and liked the way I handled myself, and they sold me a mare that I just fell in love with named Jessie Sue in California, and they sold her to me for and I didn't have any money then. I was in school, so they said, well, if you just give us $1,000 and you can have this mare. And I wouldn't have taken $1 million for her when I got her. She was a great horse, and I got to train her. She was a Martin's Jessie out of Hollywood Gold Mare, and she was my first brood mare. And then I just started adding mares to that set, and that's how I built up mares that I was showing, and then I'd start breeding them, and when they were retired, they were in the broodmare band called the Oxbow Mares. Was in partners with a gentleman by the name of Dan Lufkin at the time, and he asked me a long time ago in the 70s. He said, "Can you name the top 15 horses in the world, mares, brood mares that you think are the best?" And so I wrote them down on a napkin. We were at IHOP in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Sun Circuit. And he ended up buying 14 of them. And then we started breeding them, and then we'd, put the babies in the training, the curriculum, and then go show them, and then build a record on them, and sell the ones that didn't really fit the program, and the ones that did became the start and the heart and soul of the famous Oxbow broodmares.
That's amazing. Riding your homegrown mares is fascinating. Talk to me about the training program that you have to implement to get them to this level. And then with that in mind, how much is breeding and how much is training to win these big events?
The process training is we would start them at 2, it actually starts with the breeding. You breed the right mares and then make sure they have the right nutrition to raise great babies. And, when they're born, we take care of them like they're the athletes and the superstars they are, even before they're a year old. And we, take great care of them. It's always been a mantra of mine. And then at 2, we start them and start the process of working cows on them as 2-year-olds. And then they graduate to the 3-year-old program after that. And they're all, I've always been, cow horses are what I love, and not reining cow horses, cutting horses, but I like a horse that has a lot of cow and reads the cow. And the rider, as the famous Buster Welch said, it's a contest between the horse and the cow, and the rider having the best seat in the house. And that's how I have developed my training process and my training philosophy and skills. So, and then, we show them at the futurities, and then if hopefully they come through that with flying colors, and then we show them as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and then that's when we'd retire them and breed them and start the process all over again.
Well, Lindsay, I'm sure there's some of our listeners out there that are curious to know, okay, you sound like you got a great bunch of well-bred horses. And if you ever sell any from time to time, and how would they go about getting a hold of you if they wanted to see what you had for sale?
Well, I've got a website. I've got a few mares still, but not many. I've got a good 4-year-old that I'm hope to, put in the broodmare band, and I'm trying to breed her this year even. But I list them on the website, and then I also use Western Bloodstock. They have, they do a great job selling horses throughout the year here in Fort Worth during our Super Stakes show, actually the summer show in July, and then the Futurity is a big sale in December in Fort Worth.
That website is real easy to get to. It's lindybirch.com, BURCH.com. And Lindy, this has been amazing. At 72, you're probably outranked or outriding every 40-year-old or 30-year-old out there, and which means this is why you're among the all-time leading money earners out there. And it's at the end of the day, you just got to love what you're doing. I commend you, and it's been an honor for you to join our show. Lindy, we want to thank you for joining Better Horses. We want to have you back. We want to congratulate you for all your successes you had. And in the meantime, we'd like everybody to go to your website. If they haven't seen it, that's lindybirch.com, BURCH.com. And we recommend everybody check out your website. In the meantime, Merle, we're going to take a break, but we got more Better Horses coming your way. I'm Ed Adams.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
And we'll be right back right after these messages. Welcome back to Better Horses. Merle, one of the great things about talking about horses, we also get to talk about our equipment and everything we do when we take barns and trailers and things of that sort. I don't want to complain on the show. You know me, I don't complain. But I have to tell you, when I was in my trailer and I take horses on these trailers, I found this one mare and she just would not quit pawing on that trailer. And she went right through the mat. And then after about 4 hours in the trailer, it went right to the 10. When you stop at a light and your horse is still pawing, and then three other cars are looking at your trailer going, what person do you have in that trailer trying to get out, is really that. So you know how footing and everything's so important with everything we do.
Yes, yes. And that's why we want to thank Kleinschmidt's for sponsoring this next section here. It is Hoof Grip, and they are going to be joining us from Arizona.
And the owner and creator of Hoof Grip, we have the general manager of the Livestock Flooring Hoof Grip, is Colton McDonald. Colton, welcome to Better Horses.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Okay, so this has been fascinating for Merle and I. We've been looking at this for a long time. So we're not only talking just trailers and we're talking about flooring, but we're talking about barns, we're talking about, trucks, and we're talking about garages. You've got a product line that we normally get to talk about as far as manufacturing rubber flooring, and you've got the answer to this.
Yeah, we do. We with Hoof Grip, we specialize in the livestock applications of the safety flooring side of things, as well as with the business. We do a lot of other things that don't pertain to livestock, like driveways, garages, and walkways, and that type of thing.
So when you got into Hoof Grip, talk about your operating business and your manufacturing side. This is something that's nationwide. So whether our listeners are listening on the East Coast or West Coast, you have the ability to deliver your product to them.
Yeah, we have a dealer network across basically North America. So we service Mexico, United States, and Canada. So basically, wherever you are, you should be able to have a Hoof Grip dealer that can either do a trailer install or a barn install, hopefully not too far away from you.
Now, we talked about barns and we talked about trailers. Talk to me about how you got into this business. And I know you rope, and I know that you do you live this lifestyle into the rural area. This is something you fell into, and how did you get started?
So to keep a long story short, I was looking at upgrading my horse trailer, and the dealer, longtime friend of the family, he had to show me this floor that was in it, and it was same family or type of floor that we do. And at the time, there was nobody in Canada doing it. So at that time, I was working in the oil field, and I was looking for something different so I could rope a little bit more and stay home. And I brought the product to Canada. And shortly after I brought the product to Canada, the guy that got me started, he offered to sell me his business in Phoenix. So 2018, we took over Copper Country Rubber and started expanding. Shortly after that, we picked up Logan Coach, Titan Trailer, and Featherlight Trailers. So they all use our products on their assembly line.
And Colton, can you tell us a little bit about the product? Like it looks like it's made from recycled rubber. Is that right?
Yeah, our product is 100% recycled tires. And then our manufacturing process. So we buy the crumb rubber already shredded. So that comes in on a truck to us. And what we do is we put a coating on it. That's how we get our different colors. But part of that differs us from a lot of other people doing this is we have, with our coating on the rubber, we have a polyurethane to polyurethane bond versus a polyurethane to rubber bond, which makes our floors a little bit stronger than the competition.
And about how deep is the rubber you're talking about? Is this like a 1/2 inch?
So typically in a horse trailer, we'll do 3/4 of an inch thick.
Okay.
And then barns and stalls, depending on the application, will go from 1/2 inch to 3/4, but we never do it under 3/4 for livestock, under 1/2 inch for livestock.
And you can use it in stalls too?
Yeah, we do stalls. With our stalls, and same kind of thing with our veterinary applications, is we put a liquid rubber filler to fill in all the pores, so you have a non-porous surface. In a vet clinic or in a stall, you don't want nothing trapped down in the floor that can't drain out.
No, stall mats are always a pain, whether you're lugging them around or cutting them to fit, or they're coming up, the edges are coming up with a horse palm. So it's very interesting. I'm actually interested myself.
So we were talking about putting these installs, and can they survive the horses, Colter? As Merle just mentioned, we go through mats like monthly on some of these horses, and can it stand that wear and tear?
Yep, we have a facility that we do all of our testing at up in Canada. It's a rehab facility, and we've had stalls done for 8 years there now, and haven't had any issues with it. On the off chance that you do have an issue, it happens sometimes in barn aisleways and things where you might stick the corner of the bucket of the tractor or a skid steer fork through it or something. Or in the event that a horse paws a hole through it, you can easily repair the damaged spot and tie it into the rest of the floor. So you're not at a complete loss if you do, have some damage.
So if you're just joining us, we're talking to Colton McDonald. He's the owner of Hoof Grip Livestock Flooring that can almost go anywhere. It's been durably tested and products are going. What are the confusions, Colton, out there? I mean, is there a difference between you and the other competition?
So the other competition is a sealed product. It's laid down sealed, so it's impervious to water. One of the things that our competitors kind of advertise against us is with basically the Hoof Grip Original, the porous floor, we do drill holes in the floor to let the liquids drain. And one of the misconceptions is that, once we put our floor in, you can't ever check your floor or whatever. So our process is on an aluminum floor trailer is we'll drill the holes, then we use a etching primer, kind of bites down into the aluminum. So we cover the whole substrate with the etching primer. Then we go in and we lay a coat of polyurethane, and then we put our rubber on top of that. So any liquids that are draining through our hoof grip is actually hitting a membrane and going through the holes.
And Ed, I'm thinking pretty serious. Have you ever tried it in the house?
We haven't. I've actually my personal living quarters trailer, I've got it in the living quarters part. I've got the sealed version.
Yeah.
So nothing, no dirt or nothing
Sure.
gets down into it, and it's quite nice. I like it, and we've done a few others, but nothing, not a lot of stuff inside.
I was thinking it'd save me a lot of vacuuming, maybe.
Well, thank God it comes in a different color for your wife to understand.
Yeah,
that
I
too.
know.
So,
Susie would not be happy with me. She came home and saw I'd decorated our house. But you also do residential floors and pool decks, driveways, other applications you have.
Yeah, so we kind of do a little bit of everything. Like I said, we specialize in the livestock and division. And it's kind of where my passion is. I got a livestock background right from the start, so I enjoy that. But yeah, we do a lot of starting to do some more pools in Phoenix, entryways and stuff. And then our division up in Canada, we probably do more residential work than we do livestock stuff, just because of the demographic.
I think the safety thing is the big common denominator here. What's the shelf life on these products that you're putting down? So if we put one trailer down there, do you have a estimated shelf life to the flooring?
Yeah, you're looking at 15 to 20 years, depending on what kind of a user you are.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're saying once they do go through that, assuming we put it into one of our stalls, you're saying it's easily repairable versus having a mat that we have to rip out, throw away, things of that sort.
Exactly.
This has been unbelievable. Colton, just so that I recognize to all our listeners, you can go nationwide. You've got dealers all across the country from the East Coast to the West Coast?
Yes, sir. East to west, north to south, and as well, some of the bigger projects we'll actually mobilize out of Arizona here and go and help some of our dealers or take them projects on ourselves. So yeah, we doesn't matter where you're at, we can get to you.
So if somebody wanted to get a hold of Hoof Grip Livestock Flooring, what's the first place they need to go?
If they wanted to go to our website, hoofgrip.com, that has a dealer map on it that shows where all of our dealers are, as well as our direct contact info. And we're happy to help people with any questions that they might have.
And that's hoofgrip.com. Look up any part of your dealers you have. We've enjoyed this. This is part of our series of how to better our living conditions with our horses and our livestock. You're talking with Colton McDonald. Colton, we want to thank you for joining us. Like to have you come back in. I think Merle and I are going to struggle on who's going to get it first on our trailers, because I know I'm going to be calling you right after the show. So I appreciate you doing this. Colton, thank you for joining us. And again, we're going to remind our listeners to check out hoofgrip.com for livestock flooring. And as Merle mentioned, for all types of flooring, whether you're going into a barn or going into a trailer, a boat, a garage, anything like that.
Maybe
Merle,
a living room.
maybe a living room, and make it. And we should also say, Colton didn't mention it, but it comes in multicolor, so that's going to be really interesting. But I really appreciate Colton you coming on. Hey, Merle, we're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back right after these messages. I'm Ed Adams,
and I'm Merle Arbo.
So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dylan Luter, a specialist in equine performance medicine at the Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. Our new service focuses on lameness diagnosis, advanced imaging, physical therapy, and regenerative medicine for horses with injuries preventing them from performing at their best. We can treat a variety of conditions and design a customized rehabilitation plan to meet the needs of each client and their horse. Visit us at ksvhc.org, the Veterinary Health Center, to discover, to teach, to heal.
Hi, I'm Tommy with Heritage Tractor. Whether you're looking to maintain your yard or your whole ranching operation, Heritage Tractor has John Deere mower and tractor packages that make work fly by. With a variety of horsepower and attachment configurations, we have a package to best fit your needs and budget. To learn more about these exclusive packages, visit us in store or online at heritagetractor.com.
Legendary products, extraordinary service, that's our heritage.
Established in 1956, the Pinto Horse Association of America was formed to welcome all types of equines and maintain their show records and pedigrees. PTHA currently has over 88,000 members with 157,000 registered Pintos. There are currently 3 separate registries: the Color Registry, the Solid Registry, and the Long Ear Registry. We welcome all levels of competition within a family-friendly environment. Become a member, register, and add value to your horse. For more information, check out the website pintoworld.com.
Get quality you can stand on. Hoof Grip is the proprietary formula that provides shock absorption for your animals with no ice buildup, slipping, cracking, or sogginess, making it the safest, most comfortable, and maintenance-free flooring on the market. Hoof Grip installs quickly and easily over existing surfaces, is easy to clean, and withstands extreme heat or cold. From vet offices to barns, wash racks to trailers and more. Visit hoofgrip.com to find a dealer in your area today.
We're here for the hardworking, the resilient. We're for the people who measure their days by what needs to get done, not by hours. Where kids learn responsibility at a young age and generations work side by side. Where work doesn't pause for holidays or bad weather. It just gets harder. Where value and hard work means more than the clothes you wear. We're Kleinschmidt's Western Store, Higginsville, Missouri.
It's time to go with United Mosquito and Fly Control's premier fly system for fly control in your barn, providing relief for horses from the stress of fighting flies, and also makes the barn more pleasant for everyone in the barn. Easy, effective, and safe. With United Mosquito and Fly Control, we provide a full service. You as the barn owner don't have to do anything. We go everywhere and take care of everything with our friendly fast service. Call today at 913-558-3814 or email Paul at unitedmosquito.com.
2024 is the year to compete in the world's largest horse show, the Pinto World Championship. This 13-day event begins June 8th, starting with our Youth Weekend through June 22nd, and caters to all riding levels and ages. With over $1 million in cash and prizes, there are no qualifications required to enter. Held in Tulsa, Oklahoma, located at the Ford Complex, the Pinto World Championship caters to all types of equines. With over 700 classes, the Pinto Show welcomes a variety of breeds to compete. It's a family environment with healthy competition. For more information, check out the website pintoworld.com.
And welcome back to Better Horses. We want to thank you for joining us and staying with us as we have a lot of great information coming to you from the equine world. Merle, this is going to be a great show.
This has been already. And so we want to thank our John Deere dealer Heritage Tractor for sponsoring our next segment.
You know, in this next segment, this is one of the fun things we get to talk about. One of the largest shows in the country. And more importantly, we have the guy that's going to talk about Darrell Bilke, the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer with our program and with the Pinto Horse Association that's going to host one of the best events that are coming on June 8th. And we also have his kind of like his cohort in crime, the Marketing and Communications Director, Jenna Henson. Darrell and Jenna, thank you for joining Better Horses.
Thank you for having us here.
So one of the big questions, how is the show coming? This is one of the biggest shows that are coming out there, and all breeds and everybody can join in. Darrell, you're getting closer to the date of June 8th where it's all coming together. How's the program coming?
It's looking great. I mean, tracking right now, we're kind of halfway into it, 60% into it. So we're kind of projecting we're going to hit probably 9,000, 9,500 entries, probably 1,400 horses, 1,500 horses. So it's looking like a great horse show. I mean, it looks like right now we're bouncing early. We're about status quo where we was last year, so I feel good about that. So usually we'll pick up maybe anywhere from 15 to 20% after we get there. So we'll know more when we leave town here in another week or so, but we're still getting entries in and stalls in. And I just looked at a set of papers a while ago. Some people registering horses still wanting to come to the horse show. So get your registrations in and come and play with us.
And Ed, this is the world's largest single breed horse show. Mr. Bilke won't tell us that, but we know it is. And it is always so much fun. It is not too late. If people haven't entered, Darrell and Jenna, they still can enter up until, is it the day before?
5 o'clock the day before the class goes in. So, I mean, we can get your horse registered the day before. So as long as you have it all done by 5 o'clock, you might have to pay some rush fees and stuff, but we got inspectors there, so we can make it all happen. So come on.
Get there a little early, and you can get everything registered and signed up. And it's important for our listeners to know that it's not just pintos. It's solids, it's mules, it's donkeys, it's gypsy vanners, it's miniatures. I don't know, Darrell. If it's got 4 legs and a tail, I think there's something for a class to show in, isn't there?
Well, at the World Show, we don't have the mules and donkeys. We have those at the Congress. But at the World Show, we have everything else. Basically, the ponies, the minis, the utilities, we do not have them. We have those at the Congress. But we have the ponies, the minis, all different. We have the pleasure type, the hunter type, the stock type, the saddle type, solid or colored. So, I mean, any horse within those breeds or those types can come and play.
And you also have I'm going to call it the world's largest lead line all around competition I have ever seen.
We have a big lead line class. We're proud of our lead line class. We're proud of our walk trot classes. We're doing walk trot. I think we got some walk trot ranch classes. I mean, we got a big ranch show going. So basically everything is good. I mean, but back to our lead lines, we have a lot of little ones. I mean, little lead line. We'll have little girls and little boys. We separate them for that one group, I think. And then the rest of them, we'll have some big lead line classes. We want Grandpa and Grandma to come and have fun with them,
If you're just joining us, we're talking to the Chief Operating Officer, Darrell Bilke at the Pinto Horse Association, and we're talking about the 2024 Pinto World Championship Show. We talked about classes. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Jenna, we have over 700 classes. So if people are wondering, hey, what do I sign up for? We've got it all. They've got everything here to compete in.
Oh, yes, exactly. We do. We have our class schedule up on our website. That just wanted to put that out there that if you go to our website and then showing and events underneath that, the World Show website, you can find all the classes listed there. But I mean, we've got everything from we have a parade class. We have the lead line classes that Darrell just touched on. We have ranch reining, we have trail, we have Western dressage. We have so many classes. There's something for everyone. We have halter. So just come out and see what we are all about.
There is absolutely no reason why you can't go to any show. And all these shows are great, don't get me wrong, but this is kind of like the show where you can bring any horse, see any class, and have a great time because it's going on for 10 days. And it is amazing how many things that are going on. From Jenna, from your standpoint, people coming in, they want to register, they want to get acclimated, and what's the first steps they need to go to?
Well, first off, just go to the show office. They can direct any kind of questions from there. We will have our rush fees, like the prices listed. There will be signs saying if you want to do like an 8-hour rush or something, how much it's going to cost, who to go to, all of that.
Also, you can also go to the Better Horses newspaper that I just got here. Thank you. It looks great. First class. It's got the schedule in it. A great paper to get more information about the World Show and even the schedule. So pick up Better Horses paper.
Yeah, Merle, that's what you call cross marketing. And that Darrell Bilke did very well. Thank you, Darrell, for doing that. Yes,
No
it's Better
stranger to
Horses.
that, is he?
Yeah, he's no stranger. It headlined right there. If you haven't seen your Better Horses spring edition, you're exactly right. All 700 classes are being listed on the magazine if you want to see it. And Jenna also mentioned it's online, and we hope to get a lot of people coming out for this. And this is pretty exciting.
Can you guys talk a little bit about, you guys have one of the largest youth organizations, I think, as far as horse breeds go. Tell us what you are offering for the youth this year at the World Show.
I'm going to let Jenna take off. I mean, we've got a lot going. The first weekend, Merle, and I think your lovely wife is one of the judges.
I'm sorry about that.
But they didn't ask Merle. They asked.
They know better.
Yeah, but
hey, we're not going to edit that out, by the way. We'll keep
So I'll let Jenna talk to you about the youth weekend, because that's kind of her weekend, her and Emily. So it's a big weekend to bring all kids in. They don't even have to own a horse. We just want them to come.
Yes. So on Saturday, June 8th, that will start with our speech contest in the pavilion at 9 a.m. That is open to all youth, our members, non-members, 4-H, FFA kids. We'll have 4 different divisions for those kids to compete in. And in the afternoon, we will give out buckles and plaques as our awards.
And a $250 scholarship.
Scholarship, yes, that's right.
For the senior division.
Is there an age limit on that?
18.
Oh, we got a junior division
and a senior
and
division.
a senior division.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I might be a little old for it, though, is what I'm saying. $250, that kind of got my attention, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we our entry deadline was last week, but we can still take entries up till the day before. We're welcoming everyone. And then the following day, the 9th, that Sunday, June 9th, we will have our horse judging competition for youth. Again, it is open to all youth, Pinto members, non-Pinto members, 4-H, FFA kids. And then that afternoon, we will give out plaques and buckles as well.
And also at the judging contest, we have a junior division and a senior division. And the senior winning team gets buckles, and each one of those kids get a $250 scholarship on the judging team.
And Jenna and Darrell, how, if our listeners are at home thinking, man, my kid's pretty good, how do they sign them up? How do they find out more information on how to enter?
Go to our website, Pinto Horse Association, and then from there go to showing and events, and then go to the World Show, and then under general, we will have forms listed. So all the information forms are there, our entry forms, everything can be found on our website, but also don't hesitate to call us if you have questions here at the office.
And what's that number?
405-491-0111.
So one of the things we like to talk about, if you're on the fence, Merle, feel free to join in on this one, and you're not sure if you're ready for this, this covers all levels. And this is exactly where you want to get your horses trained up for.
It does. This is no doubt my clients' favorite 2 horse shows. They have 2 horse shows a year they want to go to. And don't cover Darrell's ears, because one of them's a Pinto World and the other one is the Color Breed Congress, because they have the most fun at that. Mr. Bilke's hat probably won't fit, after hearing this, but no, it is really a lot of fun. It's so laid back. Everybody is so helpful. It's like a big family organization. If you haven't been and you've been thinking about it, send your entries in. Just do it. Come see me. I'll be there. You know what? All of us will be there, I'll bet.
And also, Saturday night, in the middle of Saturday, we have an exhibitors party. And Merle, you might get drafted too. Frankie Justin Music, go look at his music. He's in Nashville. Frank Lepke, our saddle maker, it's his son.
Oh, wow.
And I think Frankie's got 4 or 5, I know one hit that's in the top 100 in Nashville.
Wow.
So him and his band is coming to perform for the exhibitors party Saturday.
Oh, that'll be good.
Come and have a little street dance and eat some hamburgers and hot dogs, and we might even get Merle on stage,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't hold your breath, but stranger things have happened.
So if you wonder what we're talking about, it's called the Pinto World Championship, and it's going to be held at the Tulsa Fairgrounds beginning Saturday, June 8th. going all the way to June 22nd. This is the place to be. I tell you what, Darrell and Jenna, we want to have you one more time before this event actually kicks off, as we get any last minute people that would like to drive in and see what they have to be aware of. But we want to thank you two for joining us. And more importantly, we wish you all the luck on this month's show. And we hope to have you back.
Thank you, Ed.
Yes,
You
thank
guys,
you
thank you for having us on. We appreciate it. And make sure Merle doesn't take a nap this afternoon, you know.
Well, yeah, we can't promise anything. As always, a great show. Merle, thank you for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me, Ed. This has been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. And I want everyone to remember, you got to be good buckaroos and buckarettes out there. Mind your mom and dads. Be brave, but don't take any chances. Until next time, I'm Ed Adams.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
Happy trails, and always ride for the brand.